Hey everyone, it's Caleb from Research Methods, and this video is a tutorial for regression. So today, this video is covering downloading sample data, importing the SPSS, running a simple linear regression, and analyzing SPS output of that regression test. Before I forget, there are some really good resources online and in your book. I found page 290 and a couple of pages around 290 to be very helpful talking about linear regression. And then, of course, I went on YouTube online and I found a linear regression tutorial that was about 5 videos long, and it was really detailed but also concise, and it didn't really get bogged down. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into the test, and I wanted to do this live with you guys, so bear with me here. So you're going to go to the sample data patch and download casandtraffic.sav, and I'm going to go ahead and open that up in SPSS. Okay, so let's see. We have in this data set years, casualties, and traffic. So this is the year of the record. So in 1950, there were 201 people died in traffic casualties, and this is in thousands, so that's really 201,000 people. And then we have traffic kilometers, and this is in billions. So in 1950, they drove 73 billion kilometers. So that's just kind of the data explanation, but now we need to run the test, the regression. So we're going to go up here to Analyze, Regression, and then Linear. And here in this screen, we want to pull the number of casualties as the dependent and the number of miles driven in the independence. Here we're saying that the bottom line is number of casualties. We want to see how many miles driven equals how many casualties. Does the number of miles driven predict the number of casualties per year? And if so, how much of it does it predict? Does it predict like 20%, 100%? And what's happening in that? So we're going to hit OK. And here's our output. So in the first table, model summary, we see that the R square value 0.025. This means that 0.25 of the variability in number of casualties can be explained by miles driven. So that's not a lot at all, 2.5%. That means that 98% of the variability is unexplained and is not predicted by this test. So right off the bat, I'm thinking, hey, maybe miles driven isn't a good indicator of number of casualties, but we'll see. So in our next table, ANOVA, this is showing us if the correlation that we're seeing here is significant. So the correlation between numbers of, miles driven and casualties per year. It's asking the correlation, and it's not asking for direction, but it's just asking for significance, and it's testing that. So we don't know what direction this is going, but we also see that it is not significant. We have an F value of 1.3 and a significance value of 0.25. We would want that to be 0.05 or lower before we really start to get interested. So right now I see that the miles driven is not a good predictor of casualties, and then here that the correlation between the two is not significant. Okay, so now to the coefficients table. And it's important before we dive into the coefficients table to realize two things, and that's kind of about the numbers that we're playing with. We see that the kilometers driven is in billions, and we see that the number of casualties is in thousands. So just kind of keep those two things in mind as we talk about this table. And we scroll over to the right and we see that, hey, this second row is not significant. Don't worry about the first row, but the second row here, it's not significant, right? But we can still glean some information from this table, and that is the beta value of 0.048. And that beta value means that as kilometers driven increases by 1, we can expect about a 4.8% increase in casualties, right? And so that's billions of miles driven and thousands of casualties, right? And so you can see here as we can start predicting things that, oh man, if we drove another billion miles this year, that would be 300 people dead. Whoa, that's crazy. And so now you see kind of the power of regression and prediction coming into effect in SPSS. I hope you guys have found this to be awesome and informative. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.